So it's 10 a.m. and I'm about to meet up with Mike. This man is wild. What's up, my guy?
What's up, man? How are you? This thing rolling? I would have gotten a little more spruced up if I knew you were rolling. Let me get straightened out here.
I've never grab some coffee? Yeah, man. I've never been here before.
It's pretty cool. I've been here a couple of times, but it's a cool little meeting spot.
We get inside and we order some coffee.
Let me just get a double espresso.
Double espresso.
Yeah, for here. You want to hang on for here for a little bit? Yeah. For here and then.
And while waiting for our coffee, someone shouts out, "Hey, I know you guys." Yo, shout out to Eric, local native out here.
You guys are from San Francisco, right?
No, I live here.
Oh, you live here?
I'm in Vallejo as well, so.
Oh, you live in Vallejo? What?
Right there.
Let me know, dude. That's the best. It is. Yeah. It was the best. And then I got like a Canon A-1. Oh, yeah. That one's like, I like that one a lot.
Yeah. No, that's cool.
We're just chilling, waiting for the coffee.
What are you guys up to? Just working, studying?
Yeah, he's doing.
I'm just like doing some
I'm grading papers and he's doing camera stuff.
Yeah, we went down to LA and I just did a photo shoot, like a model photo shoot that I put together.
This is Eric, who happens to watch the videos and also recognizes Mike. He's also a pretty dope film shooter. And it turns out his wife was actually one of my high school English teachers.
And you're grading papers? You're a teacher?
Yeah.
What do you teach?
This is English.
Oh, really?
I don't know why I'm
Come on now. Jonathan.
last name.
Paragus.
That was you that did that thing?
I don't know my name. Come on.
Yeah, no wonder you look so familiar. 16. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, who are your English teachers?
I had Mr. Roberts. I also had Miss Krutz when she was there. It is weird, right?
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's really familiar.
You would have never known, right?
Because
So-
when you remember some stories about this guy, email
Oh yeah,
me.
his name came up.
Right?
So watch out for this kid.
Oh man.
That's funny. That's awesome.
That's awesome. After some time, our order eventually gets called, and this is where I meet the barista, Keanu.
Well, this guy.
Sorry.
Well, hey,
No, you're all
get this
good.
guy's autograph before he's super famous.
No.
Because he'll be
Not
worth some
really.
money. You make videos too?
I do, yeah.
I think I've seen you too.
Dude, it's the film community is such a small community.
It is, yeah. It very much is.
I watched one of your videos and you said like Vallejo and I was like, bro, what?
Yeah.
Like there's no, I got your Mocha video too.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. What was your name?
Keanu.
Keanu?
Yeah.
That's a nice name.
She has a master's in photography from the.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
No, but that doesn't
hello.
make me better than you.
Keanu said he studied cinema, but he's also a portrait photographer with his girlfriend, and they run a cool little business called Viewfinder Collective. Do you guys have like a photography thing?
A business?
Yeah.
Yeah, Viewfinder.
Viewfinder Collective?
Yeah.
I've heard of you guys.
Really?
Yeah.
No way.
You mind if I shoot some B-roll of you?
Yeah, dude, of course.
So after chatting for a while, Mike and I decided we would head out, but of course only after a quick selfie. Eric, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys. Hey, that kid get a selfie with you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
Have a good day.
I was looking at T3200 Max, or the T-Max Max, yeah. And I was
Now initially the video we had in mind was to compare the Leica M2 and the Leica M6. Dude, I was like, what the heck is he pointing at?
See those turkeys?
It was a turkey.
Yeah, it was two of them.
Mike, you got a Minolta in here? What's going on?
I have a bunch of Minoltas in here. Minolta gang. I haven't been fully initiated yet. I hope to become a full-fledged member sometime soon. But yeah, I love Minoltas, man. Like they're just kind of an underdog brand, you know,
Right.
and I love that
Right.
about them. I don't even know what's in these things.
There it is.
There's another 101. It's got that past sticker. I love that sticker. I don't know why. Again, no idea because I find it and I put it up on the shelf. Another SRT 101. I almost forgot to mention, Mike owns a company called Shootfilmco, and Shootfilmco makes these little film photography pins. They make shirts, jackets, hoodies, fanny packs, and anything that you can think of film photography related. So if you guys want to check that out, definitely check out his plug, which is about to come up. Pins and stuff at home.
That's crazy.
And then I'll bring them here, and then I do all the shipping from here.
And so, Mike, where can they find, your products?
They can find that at shootfilmco.com.
If you shoot film, you don't want to miss this stuff out. So
That's
definitely
right. Help me send
check
my
it
kids
out.
to college. Buy something.
There you go. Whoa.
So this is the studio.
Dude, what the heck? This is sick. What's up, Mike?
What's up? What's going on? Are you rolling?
We're rolling. All right. Jared Poland. I'm just kidding. Mr. Earl.
One day you'll be as big as that guy. Just keep grinding every day. You'll get there.
All right, you guys. So today we are here with the Mike Padua. Padua. And we're here going to talk about the Leica M2.
And the Leica M6.
And we started off with a very engaging conversation on both cameras, but it wasn't very long till Mike and I just started chatting about random film topics. There you go. And kind of share our thoughts on why we chose the camera, some of the features it has, and yeah, just to try to help you guys make a decision on, which camera would suit you the best.
So, I mean, what's different about, let's look at the size of these things.
All right.
The M2 is a lot smaller. It's got a shorter.
Yeah, you're right.
It's got a shorter shoulder height, right?
Is that right? Oh, it is. That's crazy. So that's the first thing. The M6 is a little bit taller.
Yeah, it's taller.
Seem a little bit thicker as well.
Which one's heavier?
Here, switch it off.
Yeah, the M6 is definitely heavier.
Yeah?
Well, I don't know. It's about I don't know. Maybe about the same. Try it.
The M6 is heavier.
Yeah,
it has to be. So, Mike, tell me a little bit why you got the M6 and what was your decision on getting that over any other Leica M-mount cameras?
Well, first and foremost is the light meter. I do every once in a while practice the Sony 16 just to stay sharp, and it's fun to do that. Mm-hmm. It still works without the batteries, without the light meter, because the batteries only are there to power the light meter.
Right.
But I just like having the light meter. I just like to be precise when I can. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's really the biggest reason. Also, this black one came up for sale for a really good deal. So it was just kind of it was a I can't pass this up kind of situation. So I got to jump on it. Like I had been working up to a Leica, just kind of buying and selling a bunch of cameras. Mm-hmm. So this came up and I had to jump on it.
I guess the reason why I chose the M2 was similar to kind of like Mike's building up to a Leica. The M2, if you do some research on it, is probably one of the cheapest Leicas you can get.
Yeah, for sure. It's a great value.
You get the Leica body. I think I got this for like $500.
That's amazing.
Which is, it was a pretty good deal. And it's in good condition still.
That thing looks clean, man.
It is.
That's super clean.
Pretty much.
What are the frame lines on the M2?
So the frame lines, I'm going to be honest with you, I've only used the 35.
Yeah.
And that's also another reason I should say that I chose the M2 is because the frame lines in here for a 35 are the biggest, so it covers the frame the most. Mm-hmm. And I really like that about it. And previously to using one of these, I had a Bessa R2A Boylander, which I still have. But the problem with that camera is that the frame lines for 35 look like a 50 on this camera. So you have a lot of room on the edges, and it didn't make composing hard. Sometimes it made it easier, but I wanted to have something that expanded out more to the viewfinder.
Yeah. I have a 35 on this as well. That was my other big reason for choosing this. It's got the 0.58 magnification finder. Okay. So because I wear glasses, I like to be able to see outside the frame lines. Like one of the biggest advantages of a rangefinder is that you can see outside the frame lines. Now with that, for me with the M2, because it's a higher magnification, I can barely see outside the frame lines.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so if you look at that, you like it's a lower magnification.
Gotcha.
And I'm blind, so like I have these Coke bottle glasses. So that was like a big magnification. This is actually not my first M6.
Really?
My first M6 was a 0.72 finder. So it was closer to the finder in this thing. I just had a really hard time seeing outside of the frame lines, which that's one of the biggest reasons I love rangefinders. You can kind of see what's coming into the frame, so it kind of helps you time your shot before it's in the
Before it goes
frame.
in, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And when you're shooting out wherever, shooting like fast subjects or whatever, that's like a big thing to help you plan your frame. Even that split second, you know, it's a huge advantage.
Would you recommend somebody getting like a cheaper Leica M body, like a Voigtlander, and sticking some Leica glass on there?
Why not? You know, the biggest thing with the Leica is that it's a rangefinder. I love rangefinders. I know SLRs have their advantages, and I love SLRs, but the rangefinder is just a different shooting experience for me.
For sure.
You know, like just the shape, the thinness profile. Like, it doesn't have that big hump. It's a little bit more, it's not that much more compact, but it feels a little bit more discreet, especially when it's hanging off your neck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, hands down.
And just that rangefinder, you know, you're not looking through the glass, so it's an approximation of what the lens is seeing with the viewfinder. But I just love that rangefinder experience.
And so, do you prefer rangefinder over SLR?
I do. Yeah.
You do?
Yeah. In terms of like going out to shoot for fun, personal experience, I much prefer rangefinders over SLRs. Well, that said, I love SLRs. You know, I'll shoot with an SLR all day. Like, I just sent off my favorite SLR right now. Anyway, is the Pentax MX.
I'm lost, dude.
That's all right, dude. Yeah.
I'm lost.
The nature of the beast, dude. We love
Yeah.
it, man. That's part of the fun, I think.
Here we go.
What's your take on the shooting experience between an SLR and a rangefinder, and how they're different, and how you feel about them?
So with rangefinders, like you said, you can see there's the frame lines, and you can see what goes in before the, you know, what goes into your frame before it actually goes into it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of stuck between the two because I like how quick and easy it is for you to set up a rangefinder with zone focusing, and with, you know, just having the patch right there, you can quickly just focus it without having to, you know, have complete control and look over what's in focus inside of the viewfinder.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I like about the rangefinder. But something else that I really do like about SLRs is that you have that control.
You have that precision with the focusing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, what you see is what you get. You're seeing through the lens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's all, you know, based on how you focus it. And I'm sure there's somebody out there who's wondering, and luckily we have Mike here to help us today. For somebody that shoots an SLR right now, maybe they started out with like a Minolta X700, and they're getting more into photography, maybe street, maybe landscape. What's your take on moving from the standard SLR over to a rangefinder? Is it worth it? Do you think that it's a good decision?
I think experimentation with any craft is always worth it. With that said, I mean, unless they had the means, I don't condone anybody just plopping $1,000 plus on like a Leica M6 or an MP or whatever, you know what I mean? But just to see, like, if you've never shot a rangefinder, just to see if you like the rangefinder experience, that's a worthwhile experiment. Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't start with a Leica. My first rangefinder was the Yashica, what is it? The
Electro?
Yeah, the Electro 35.
Yeah.
The GS, the silver one. And I saw a review of it somewhere, so I went looking for one on eBay, and I found one for like $30. I read that those cameras were unreliable and they broke all the time, so I bid on 3 of them for like $30 maximum bid, and I won all 3 of them. Yeah, I was hoping to win one of them, you know what I mean? And if I got all 3 of them, I was hoping, okay, maybe one will work. I won all 3 of them, and they all 3 worked.
Wow.
And that introduced me to the rangefinder experience. You know, like, I didn't even understand. This was like back in, I don't know, 2010. I wasn't even sure. Like, I'd been shooting an SLR for years. I'd been shooting like my sister's old Yashica SLR, and I wasn't even sure what a rangefinder was. I just know it looked different, it looked cool, and it was, you know, you're looking through the viewfinder. I didn't even understand the focusing mechanism, but that introduced me to the rangefinder experience for so little money. Right. And I realized, you know, after I would just shoot with it, and it was over time that I realized, when I start to think about it, it's like, okay, why do I even like this camera? And when you kind of ask yourself that question, okay, it's because you can see outside of the frame lines. It's because the focus throw is short on the focus ring. You know, you can kind of get to that spot really quickly with the flick of a finger, you know. Oh, and then you can zone focus. It wasn't until a rangefinder that I asked myself, what are these markings, you know? And I taught myself like zone focusing and hyperfocal focusing, you know. And it just that experience and that different the different mechanics opened me up to a different experience, and now I realized like, wow, this is different, and I really enjoy it. So let me ask you about like kind of getting back on the Leica. How do you feel about the loading system on this?
Loading a Leica, or the M2 specifically, is so much more different than what I was used to before I had it. Because even like the Voigtlander Besta, it was just like an SLR. You'd plop the film into the left side, slide it over, and then insert it into the little teeth, I guess you could say. Yeah. And then you'd advance it just like
any SLR.
Exactly. Yeah. It was super simple. But with the M2, now you have 2 extra pieces.
You've got a spool, right?
You have a spool.
Right.
And then you also have the bottom
the
plate.
take-up spool.
Is that what it's called? Take-up spool?
Yeah, the one that you feed the leader into.
There it is.
The take-up spool.
And so that was completely new to me. And I remember when I first got the camera and I was like, oh, I'm so excited to load this. And I've seen people do it before. It took me a while to figure it out. I had to watch a couple of different videos, you know, get the whole little arrow thing going. And I'm pretty sure I loaded in like 2 or 3 times wrong. Because I was like, why isn't this film going into the slot? Yeah. But it was new to me, and it's definitely different. I think after a while you get used to it. Yeah. But, you know, it was just one of those things that you got to get used to. Yeah. Is that the same for the M6?
So for this, the only difference is that the take-up spool doesn't come out. I believe it's the only difference. Okay. I'm sure somebody in the comments will tell us other differences. But for this, the bottom plate does come off. This flips up. Okay. Right? That flips up that way. This flips up in the same direction, right? Yeah. Like that back thing. It's just that the take-up spool doesn't come out. So you drop the roll in there, this flips up, you drag it across, and then the take-up spool is just stuck in there.
And that's the rapid load system, right?
I don't know. I don't know if that's what that is. I mean, it's not very rapid if that's if that's what it's called. Oh, I just fired off a frame accidentally. But before I got a Leica and I saw that loading system, I thought it was just ridiculous. Right. I thought it was ridiculous looking. You know, in fact, at one point I would like, why would I ever get that camera? That loading system is just really strange to me. Yeah. But you do get used to it. You know, I don't want to jinx myself, but I'm so scared for the day that I drop that bottom plate into a gutter somewhere.
Did that happen to you before?
That's never happened to me before. Has it happened to you?
No.
Yeah, I'll put it in my pocket, or I'll just grip it really tight. I'm so scared to lose it because I don't know how much they are. I'm sure they're expensive though.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah. I assume the shutter in that is cloth and it moves across the frame like that.
It actually looks cloth at the front.
Yeah, they look about the same. Okay,
so I guess it has a cloth shutter. That's something new to me. I should have known.
I'm sure Leica has a fancy name for it, right? Lie-cloth. Where is the frame counter?
This little
that thing right there. Hold on, we're not getting this LaCroix money. LaCroix sponsored this guy.
In there, it's actually...
Oh, that's what... That is what is shooting the light from the rangefinder patch into your viewfinder.
So, are we still looking through this?
I think that's like translucent.
That's weird.
Somebody in the comments.
They'll answer for us.
Because you're all smarter than we are.
That's true.
And the shutter speed dial, like they're reversed on these. Huh? They're reversed. So like, if you turn it, going this way are the lower shutter speeds, and turning it this way are the higher shutter speeds, and it's reversed on that.
It's reversed on here.
Technically, this is reversed because this is specifically the Leica M6 TTL, so it's got the bigger dial, and the speeds are reversed.
Yeah, I never noticed that about that actually. Yeah. You're right. Like counterclockwise for me is going down, right, and then clockwise is going up.
Yeah, I think on the M2, the M3, the M6 Classic, which is the non-TTL version, they're all like that traditional direction.
Can I see M6 real quick?
Yeah, of course.
The M2's shutter dial is really stiff. And I noticed that on the M6, it's really, really smooth. Like, I mean, you can really just like, you don't even have to really put effort into it. Where it's a one finger operation on the M6. Yeah. Whereas the M2, like you see Mike doing it now, you have to use 2 fingers just because of how stiff it is.
You do, yeah, there is. You know, I think it's only just slightly stiffer. The reasons I picked the TTL over the classic M6 is that the shutter dial is bigger. You know what I mean?
Right,
so you can do it with one finger. You can kind of do this with one finger, but it's smaller.
And a lot more tension, right?
Yeah, there is more tension for sure.
All right, Mike, so we talked a little bit about the M2, the M6, rangefinders versus SLRs. You know, we went really in depth with, you know, shooting a rangefinder and film in general. Now, I want to close it off really quick by asking you a couple questions about film, you know, about itself. So, for anybody out there right now who shoots film, at this day and age, let's say they're younger, and they want to start shooting film, what can you recommend to them?
Experiment. That's part of the fun with the whole thing. Just experiment. Just try it. Get your hands on it. I mean, with film, for me personally, there's gonna be a million reasons. I mean, I think talk to 10 different people, they'll have 10 different reasons. But for me, just that hands-on, that analog experience. It's like there's typing and then there's putting pencil to paper, and it makes your brain work in a different way.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
try it. Experiment. Don't limit yourself. And once you find something that speaks to you, just kind of explore that avenue.
There you go. All right, folks. So that's Mike Padua. He also makes some really dope accessories and cool little things for people who shoot film at Shootfilmco. Mike, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, well, I make just a lot of fun stuff for film photographers. It's like the whole mission with that was just to kind of spread the word and spread the excitement about film. And you can find that stuff at shootfilmco.com. You can find me on Instagram at the Mike Padua, TheMikePadua. Which I'm sure you'll link at the thing.
Link will be down there.
Yeah, and I'm on Twitter at Mike Padua.
Oh yeah, you're actually really active on Twitter, aren't you?
I try to be. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, Mike, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for stopping in.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I mean, again, we were so happy and blessed to have Mike over here. And yeah, check him out, and we'll see you next time. Now, this was the very first time Mike and I have sat in front of a camera together, and it definitely won't be the last. Actually, on March 2nd and 3rd, there's going to be an event held by the Darkroom Lab called a Film Photography Padua. I believe that's the way you pronounce it. And it's going to be in San Clemente, California, where Mike and I are going to be guest speakers. You guys can check out all of the details in the description below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, thank you, Mike, and also thank you to you for watching. And as always, Minolta gang. Yeah.